Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures of American coins, their history, their value, and their place in today's market. If you love coin collecting, rare pennies, and want to know how a simple 1-cent coin could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, then this video is for you. Today we are talking about one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the Lincoln penny 1 cent from 1970. This coin may look like an ordinary penny at first glance, but its history, unique variations, and rare errors make it one of the most desirable coins for collectors all around the world. And trust me, once you hear the current market values, you are going to check your coin jars and pocket change immediately. Let us begin with the history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first regular-issue coin in the United States to feature a real person, and over the decades it has remained one of the most collected coins in American history. The 1970 Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, and like all coins from this era, it carries a rich background connected to America's economy and design changes of the time. In 1970 the mint produced millions of pennies, but among them a very small number came with special errors, double dies, or unique minting qualities that made them incredibly valuable in today's market. Now let us move to the varieties and why this penny can be worth so much. Collectors are constantly searching for the famous 1970 Lincoln cent double die obverse. What does this mean? It means that during the striking of the coin, the die that imprints the design struck more than once but slightly off, creating a doubling effect on the date, lettering, or motto. These errors are visible to the naked eye or under a magnifying glass, and when found, they can increase the coin's value dramatically. Some 1970s double die pennies have sold for over $30,000 in auctions, and while the Denver mint variety is less famous, it still holds surprising value depending on its condition, rarity, and demand. The 1970 penny also exists in different grades. A circulated penny, one that has been used in everyday transactions, might only fetch a few cents above face value. But when you move into uncirculated condition, mint state, or red mint state coins, the story changes completely. Collectors are always after red pennies, meaning coins that still have their original fiery red copper color with no darkening or brown toning. A 1970 Lincoln penny in pristine red mint state condition graded by PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. The market right now has shown steady demand, and in rare cases, coins of this type have been recorded at auction prices as high as $779,345. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny tur. Welcome back everyone to JF Coin, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures of American coins, their fascinating history, and their true market value today. In this video, we are going to talk about a very special and eye-catching coin that has captured the attention of collectors all over the world, the Lincoln penny 1 cent coin from the year 1981. Do not underestimate this tiny piece of copper, because behind its small size hides a huge story of history, value, and a surprising market worth that can go much higher than you ever imagined. Let us begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909. It was designed by Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. From that year till now, the Lincoln penny has become one of the most collected coins in the entire world. Every American has held one in their hands at some point, but very few realize that certain dates and mint marks carry big surprises in value. The 1981 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that deserves our attention today. Now, let us step into history. The year 1981 was actually very important for the Lincoln penny. Up until that time, pennies were made mostly of copper, with 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, after 1982, the composition changed dramatically. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet. This means that the 1981 Lincoln cent is one of the very last years of the true copper pennies. For collectors, this detail makes it a final chapter of an era, the last stronghold of the copper coinage tradition that lasted for decades. Imagine this for a moment. Each 1981 Lincoln cent in your pocket is not just a simple 1-cent coin. It actually carries real copper that today has more value than its face worth. Because of the metal content alone, these coins have always attracted attention. But beyond the copper, collectors chase after varieties, conditions, mint marks, and rarity. That is where the real money comes in. When we talk about mint marks, remember that in 1981 the U.S. Mint struck these pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. So you can find them with no mint mark for Philadelphia, with a D for Denver, and with an S for San Francisco proof coins. Each mint has its own story, and depending on the condition, some of these can sell for much more than you expect. Now let's move into value, the part that excites all coin collectors. The current market for a regular circulated 1981 Lincoln cent is usually close to face value, but if the coin is in uncirculated condition, bright red, and without any marks, its price goes higher. A gem mint state red coin from 1981 can easily sell for several dollars. But the real excitement comes with rare errors, varieties, and top-graded examples. Some proof coins with the S mint mark, especially the Type 2 proof with clear mint mark style, are highly sought after. In the mark. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most talked about and highly collected coins in American history, the 1982 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1 cent. Many people still have these coins lying in jars, drawers, or tucked away in old albums, but very few realize that some of them can be worth a lot of money in today's market. So if you think a penny is just a penny, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will look at your pocket change in a completely different way. The year 1982 was a turning point in the history of the United States Mint. Before this year, pennies were made mostly of copper. But due to rising copper prices, the government decided to change the composition of the 1-cent coin. So in 1982, the mint struck two different types of Lincoln pennies. One was the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy that had been used for decades. The other was a brand new composition, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. This shift was huge because it created multiple varieties of 1982 pennies, and that's exactly what makes this year so exciting for collectors. Now, here's where the real treasure hunt begins. There are not just one or two but 7 major varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. You have small date copper, large date copper, small date zinc, large date zinc, and then you have coins from both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Each one looks slightly different, and some of them are extremely rare. Collectors today are willing to pay incredible amounts of money if you happen to have the right variety in the right condition. Let's break it down. The copper pennies from 1982 weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. That's the first test you can do. If you have a scale at home, you can instantly check the weight and see which type you own. But it doesn't stop there. The small date versus large date design also matters. On the small date, the numbers of the year look thinner and more delicate, while on the large date the numbers are bolder and thicker. Sometimes the difference is subtle, but once you learn to spot it, you'll never miss it again. Now, here's the most exciting part. Some rare 1982 pennies in pristine mint state condition have been sold at auctions for thousands and thousands of dollars. Imagine finding a coin in your change that could pay for your rent, your bills, or even a family vacation. One famous example is the 1982 D small date copper penny. It is one of the holy grails of modern coin collecting. Very few are known to exist, and their market value can reach extraordinary levels. Collectors are willing to pay sky-high prices because of its rarity and historical importance. So what is the current market value of these coins today? Well, common circulated 1982 Lincoln cents may only be worth their face value, but uncirculated examples and rare varieties can fetch much more. The market right now shows values ranging anywhere from. Today's video is going to be very special because we are diving deep into the world of the Lincoln penny, specifically the 1-cent coin from 1996. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but trust me, there is so much history, hidden value, and market interest behind it that you might be shocked to know how much some of these coins can actually be worth today. So stay with me till the end of this video, because you never know, the penny in your pocket right now could be hiding a small fortune. The Lincoln penny, also called the Lincoln cent, has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, this coin quickly became a national symbol. It was also the very first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual person. Since then, it has gone through a few design changes, but the 1996 penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Reverse series that was minted from 1959 all the way up to 2008. On the front side, you have the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, and on the reverse, you see the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Now let's talk about why the 1996 penny is so important and why collectors are always on the lookout for special examples of this year. In 1996, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these coins, so naturally, most of them are considered common. However, certain factors such as mint mark, condition, and unique errors can make a coin from just a single cent in face value rise to hundreds or even thousands of dollars in collectors' markets. That's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. A small detail can make all the difference. The 1996 Lincoln penny was struck in 3 different mint locations. First is the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins with no mint mark under the date. Then there's the Denver Mint, which produced pennies with a small d mint mark. Finally, there's the San Francisco Mint, which struck the proof versions of the coin with the S mint mark. Each of these has its own story when it comes to rarity and value. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 6 billion coins in 1996, which makes them the most common. In circulated condition, most of these are still worth just 1 cent, but if you find one in uncirculated condition or a coin graded by a professional service as mint state 67 or higher, the value can jump significantly. Some of these coins have been auctioned for hundreds of dollars simply because they were preserved so well. The Denver Mint also produced a huge number of 1996 pennies, around 7 billion pieces. Just like the Philadelphia version, these are common in pocket change, but again, condition is the key. A perfectly struck, well-preserved Denver penny with a high grade can fetch a good amount of money from collectors. The San Francisco proof coins, on the other hand, are far more limited. These were not released into circulation. Instead, they were SPE. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that has caught the attention of collectors, dealers, and investors around the world. I am talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1996. This little copper-plated zinc coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions, has a history, a hidden charm, and in some cases a surprisingly high value that could shock you. If you are holding on to a penny from 1996, stay tuned because by the end of this video you might realize that you are sitting on something worth far more than just 1 cent. The Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it is a symbol of American history and culture. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, this coin has carried the face of President Abraham Lincoln for well over a century. It became the first circulating coin in U.S. history to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. By 1996, the Lincoln cent had already become a legend in American pockets, yet that year's mintage carried its own unique characteristics that still fascinate collectors today. So what exactly makes the 1996 Lincoln penny so important? Let's start with the basics. In 1996, the United States Mint produced pennies in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. Billions were made, but like always, the details matter. Even though most are still only worth face value, some rare examples can fetch incredible prices depending on condition, errors, and demand. When we talk about market value, the regular 1996 penny found in circulation is usually not worth more than a cent or a few cents. However, if you discover a high-grade uncirculated coin or a proof example, the value begins to climb. Coins graded MS-65 and above can be worth several dollars. A full red example with strong luster can bring collectors racing to add it to their sets. In fact, there have been auction results where pristine 1996 pennies sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Imagine pulling one of those out of your change jar. But the real excitement comes when we talk about errors and varieties. The 1996 penny has been found with double dies, center strikes, die cracks, and other minting errors. Some of these error coins have been listed in the market with values going well beyond the imagination of casual collectors. A dramatic off-center strike or a strong double die could easily sell for hundreds of dollars or more. These errors make every 1996 penny worth a second look under a magnifying glass. Now let us connect the story of this coin with its market demand today. The current value being discussed among collectors, dealers, and online marketplaces shows that certain examples can reach astonishing numbers. Some estimates and reported sales claim values climbing up to hundreds of thousands, with figures like $779,342 being mentioned in Coin4. Today's video is about a coin that most of us have seen, used, and probably ignored many times. But what if I told you that this small coin could be worth a huge amount of money depending on its condition, rarity, and market demand? Yes, we are talking about the 1998 D. Lincoln penny, also called the Lincoln 1-cent coin. Stay with me until the end, because you will be shocked when you hear how much some of these coins have sold for and what makes them so special. Let's begin with the story. The Lincoln penny has been one of the longest-running coins in American history. It was first issued in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, and it quickly became one of the most popular coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Over the years, the design has changed slightly, but the face of Abraham Lincoln has remained on the obverse side, honoring one of the greatest leaders in American history. Now let's focus on the 1998 D penny. The D mint mark shows that this coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Millions of these coins were struck, which makes them common in circulation, but here's the interesting part. Not all 1998 D pennies are the same. Some coins have errors, varieties, or high-grade conditions that make them worth far more than just 1 cent. When we talk about coin value, there are several important factors to consider. First is the condition of the coin. A circulated penny that you find in your pocket might only be worth face value or slightly more to a collector. But an uncirculated 1998 D penny with sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches can be worth a lot more. Collectors pay high premiums for coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, especially if they are in mint state condition. Another factor that increases the value is the presence of errors or varieties. Some 1998 D pennies are known to have misstrikes, double dies, or even rare transition features. For example, one of the most famous varieties is the 1998 wide AM penny, where the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse is wider than usual. If you spot one of these rare wide AM varieties, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the grade. Now let's talk about the market value. At the time of recording this video, a regular circulated 1998 D penny might only sell for a few cents to collectors, but in mint state grades the value jumps dramatically. A mint state 1998 D Lincoln penny can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s. But the real surprise comes with rare varieties and error coins. Some of these rare examples have been auctioned for extraordinary prices, going up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a 1-cent coin that could be worth as much as a luxury car or even a house. Collectors are always on the hunt for these special coins, and the demand in the numismatic market continues to rise. Right now,